Welcome to another episode of Mystery Stamping. I have a few extra pieces in this mystery stamping, but it turns out to be a super cute card. And so I hope that you'll enjoy this card pattern and can make all kinds of cards with it. I do have a couple different cards, and then while I was sitting here waiting, I was trying to come up with a third idea on to be able to use some of our other product. So we will get started. I'm going to use the Country Flowers stamp set for my card. And then I'm also using the sentiment out of another oh, it's out of another stamp set, and I have moved it off my desk, so I'll have to put that in the description once I upload this to YouTube. But I'm using a different sentiment than what's in this stamp set, but we're going to use the little teapot and some florals, and then we are going to bring in these bits and pieces here. And the flower or the DSP that I'm going to use is, let's see, Unbounded Beauty. And so I love this DSP. And there's a fellow demonstrator. Her name is Heidi, and I cannot think of her last name at the moment. But she posted a card a good while back, and I just absolutely loved that card. And then whenever I decided to do this mystery stamp, I'm like, this is a close enough card to the one that she posted, just with some changes. So I'm using the same kind of layout that she used, but it's going to be a little twist of my own on it. So here is our card base, and I'm using Peach Pie. So I'm going to put that right there. And then for our cardstock layers, let's see, I'll put this down here. I'm using, this piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and that is Calypso Coral. All my cardstock layers are Calypso Coral. And then I have a piece here that is 3 3/8 by 3 5, or 2 3/8, pardon me, by 3 5/8. And then I have one here that's 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. And then a layer for a sentiment, and this is our new neutral color, our basic beige. And so I've already stamped it on there just to kind of save a little bit of time. And I'll fussy cut that out here in just a moment. So that's my layer for my sentiment. All right. For basic white, very vanilla, a piece for the sentiment. Instead of doing a circle, I was just giving you like suggestions, but instead of doing a circle, I'm using this piece. I'm not going to layer behind that for my sentiment. And then I also have this little layer here. I guess this is my second card, so just bear with me on this. Instead of a piece of DSP, this is a piece of cardstock that I ran through an embossing folder to take the place of one of my DSPs. And so the 1 3/8, or let's see, I better double check that. 2 1/8 by 3 3/8. Instead of a piece of DSP for this one, I'm using a piece of cardstock. And then I'll do my original card here in just a moment. I'm sorry about that. And then I have this piece, and it is the 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And then this is the 1 3/8 by 3 3/8. And this one's portrait. That's landscape, but it doesn't really matter. And then I have let's see, this little piece here as a piece to put on the inside. And then on here I put die cut pieces or embellishments for your card. These are my shapes. I did the little tea kettle and the flowers. I've already did my coloring of those with my Stampin' Blends, and the Stampin' Blends that I did were Peach Pie, Light and Dark Clips of Coral. I did use, let's see, the Light Shy Shamrock, and then a Light Pretty and Pink for that. And then I did take and use this Light Petal Pink. I put it down as the base, I cannot keep things picked up, base layer in the center of my little tea kettle here. And then that way I didn't have to go over it as much, so that it gives it a little bit lighter. I don't know if you can see that, little bit lighter here in the center. So when I did my Light Clips of Coral, I did go over it real quick, but I didn't put very much down on that so that this would show through. And so those are those two pieces for that. And let's see. My inks that I'm using for this card is the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So we'll get started with this card, and then I'll show you my original card. Just remember that whenever I go to put this down, if you're stamping with me, this one would have been your DSP. That's the 2 1/8 by 3 3/8 in portrait. I'll move that out of the way. Move this over so that I have some workstation here. So I always take my card base first. Oh, and I have not cut my inside piece for this card as of yet. That piece that is 3.5 by 5. This one might be it. I can't remember. No, but I will cut it a piece for it really quick here. I've got a piece of white. So this one's at 5 inches, so I just need to make it 3.5. And then I have a third card, so I'm going to go ahead with my second 3.5 piece. That way, when it's time for that one, I'll have it already. I got excited about this card. So I guess that's the reason why I started with this one. Okay, so we're going to crease that. Make certain that is like that. All right, so we're going to start layering our pieces. And remember, I said that if you're stamping along, yours would be a piece of DSP. But this, I was just showing that you can change some of your options in the patterns to fit your own needs. And so, but I should have started with the other card first. But being we've already got going on this one, we'll finish this one, then do the original one. So I'm adding glue to my corners. And around the outside edges, I'm almost out of glue. And I'm going to layer that on there, and it is a small layer. Okay, now I am bringing ribbon in for this one, and my ribbon that I'm using is the Peach Pie, and it's that bordered ribbon. Just going to cut a piece off. Like that. I'll set that right there for now. Layer this one. Keep getting off my camera. There we go. You'll be able to see what I'm doing. Alright, so we're going to lay that down. Put that right there. I'm going to go ahead, and if you have your piece of DSP, we're going to go ahead and layer that. And mine is using the Fun Patterns embossing folder. It's an online exclusive, and you get 2 of these embossing folders for $9. And it's this really pretty pattern. So you can see that pattern here for this one. So like if you see a card pattern and they have DSP, you can always swap it out for a embossing folder or a stamped background. So this one has a little bit bigger border around it because it is more our focal point. So we're going to take this larger layer that we have here, and we're going to layer this piece onto it. Right across the center here. Now, if you have ribbon, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. It does not require ribbon, but this card I'm putting ribbon on, the others I'm not. So I'm going to take and add glue dots to the end of my ribbon. Oops. There's a glue dot back here that I missed. Actually, a couple of them I missed. All right, so I'm going to just put it right along this edge, just in maybe an inch. Tuck it behind. And then I want to bring in dimensionals. I'm going to add those to the back. So pop this layer up. And if you want to just watch this one, that's fine, because I'm going to do another one. And then I do have a third one that I probably won't put a sentiment on at the time, but I will later. Okay, so I just put a few on there, and I'm using some to help hold my ribbon, even though I have them on there with glue dots. And then we're going to lay that on the front of our card. Just try to get it centered. All right, so there is that. I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to add some glue to the back of it. Put it down here at the bottom. And then add this to the inside. I think that was the piece that was 1/2 inch by 3/4 by 3.5. So, well, and mine's not probably quite 3.5. I think whenever I had my pieces, I had some scraps that were just a little bit short, but so I decided to go ahead and use that. So that's my inside. All right, so now this one I'm going to add glue dots, or not glue dots, dimensionals to the back at the top and the bottom, because I have this here raised up area. like using all the pieces on around the outside so that you can then, whoops, toss your backing and it's clear. Didn't even see the little corner still on there. All right, so now I'm gonna bring this in and center that on here. And I'll give Heidi credit in the description because I cannot remember her name off the top of my head. I know it's Heidi, but I can't remember the rest of it. But her card was gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to add glue dots to the back of my little image here. Put it together like that. And then take this big piece here and hold it all together. And these little bit smaller pieces. I'll put around that larger piece. So I want to hold it all together. Aren't these just absolutely gorgeous colors together? And bring this in here. Set that about right there. Then I'm going to take my Hello Friend that I've already stamped. I'm just going to quickly fussy cut this out. And grab a couple of these little dimensionals. I'm using smaller ones because I wasn't certain if the bigger ones would fit. There we go. All right, so I'm going to bring this in and then place this right up here for a tone on tone sentiment. And there's the first card. And then I take my Wink Stella and alcohol mixture that I normally use. Looking for a piece of scrap paper. And we're going to spritz that down so it gives it a bit of shimmer. And there is our first card. I thought that turned out really cute. All right, so well, that was technically the second card. So to do our first card, there's a few changes in this one as well. I don't have the piece for the inside because I'm starting with a basic white base that's 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4.25. So we're gonna get that going. Then we're doing that same card pack, but we're doing a different color scheme this time. So we're going to use this piece and bring my things in here. So this one's the 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And then this is the piece of 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I took my sentiment layer from the center of that to save on cardstock. So I'll layer those two together. And then this piece here is the 2 3/8 by 5 5 1/8. And then this is our 3 3/8 by 2 1/8. That goes there. And then this piece is our 1.5 by 3.5. For our cardstock piece, it's 1 3/8 by 3 3/8, and that will layer there like that. And then the 3/4 by 3.5, I realized that these are at 3 3/8, not up to a 3.5. So I took that, and this was the 3/4 inch or whatever, and I just cut it in half for that. So we will get go. Oh, and my sentiment layer is a deckled circle, and the layering part for my deckled circle is a stylish stitch shape die. And then there won't be a white insert for this one because it's already a white base. So we'll put that off to the side. We'll get going on this one. And this one turns out really pretty too. So I'm going to put glue here on my corners and then along the outside edges. And I'm going to try to leave that center blank because I guess I could bring in, I don't know where my silicone mat is right now, so I just won't do that for. So flip that over, make certain there's no, yep, there's just a little glue there. All right, and then I'm going to add this. We're not doing ribbon on this one, and so I'm going to glue this one directly down with this card. Sorry, everything's down at the bottom of the camera. So we're going to line that up. Like that. Go ahead and layer these. My workstation is a large silicone mat. I still try not to get glue on it, and then I just got glue all over it. So I'll do that. We're going to go ahead and layer this one. So the first one, there was stamping. I just didn't do any of the stamping because I did it ahead of time. All right, so this one here, I'm going to glue it directly down, and then we'll pop this layer up. So we're doing the same layout, just changing our color scheme. And on the other one, I did embossed cardstock. Then on this one, I'm doing the 3 pieces of DSP. I'm going to bring in the the dimensionals. All right. I'm going to layer this, and we need to make certain, especially if it's directional, that we have it going in the right direction. So like that. And then that scrap piece that I used to spray on, I have 2 of these only in case I mess up, but we're going to bring in the little florals from another set, and I wish I could remember what that set was. I just had the box here, and I don't think I put it up. Oh, here it is. It's the Flowers of Beauty. I've got some little flowers out of there. And then I think it's the Country Birdhouse that I'm using the Hello Friend from. I knew I just had those nearby, but I have Pretty in Pink, Summer Splash, and Petunia Pop for these. And so I'm going to take my Summer Splash and my words, Hello Friend. Stamping it at the bottom and hopefully to the right a little bit. That looks pretty good. And this little stamp was in the original one, and it's right here, and that's what I stamped in the middle of the thing. Heidi had done that, and I found that in the set. I thought that gave some really cute embellishment to that. All right, so that's finished. We can close this so I don't get into it. And then we're going to do the main flower in the Pretty in Pink. We'll stamp off. Oops. Stamp that up there. Okay. I want the Petunia Pop. We'll stamp off with it as well. Stamp that, so that's a little bit lighter. It just gives it just a little bit of color. There you go. But not, this is really bright, so I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. All right, so now then we'll layer that onto here. Just like that. So hopefully, if you didn't keep up with me on the first card, and being it was a little different anyway, you can catch up where you left off on this card, and then if not, I have a third one. And it's just a little bit different also. So I'm going to take and add just a few little dimensionals to the back of this. card in. Right here in the center, we have that. You can add embellishments if you want. There's some of these, so I'll add those. I did not on my original card, but we'll add some of this lighter pink. Right in the center there. And so you can add whatever dimensionals or not dimensionals, embellishments that you have. But these are adhesive backed, and the dappled dots, and I've been using those on several different things. I could put it on, could use these on here as well. Colors coordinate nicely. I think I'll just have to add another one because that doesn't look quite there. So you can add them, you can leave them off. I mean, it kind of does get lost in this pattern, but not so much in this one. So now then, on the inside, because I took these and I split them in half, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Glue down the center, pick this up, put one down here at the bottom. Oops, come back up. This one I'm going to put up here at the top. So that dresses the inside of a plain white card base just a bit without adding a lot of weight to it. So there we go. So there's that one. That was the original first one. All right, so this one's the one I don't have a sentiment for, but it is one that I was working on while I was waiting. So I like to give other ideas. Now with this one, I brought in the SP, what's the Adventurous Sky? Oh, Take to the Sky. And so I found some different ones, and then there was the sheet in here that had like these little tags and different things. And so this little tag was this, and it had a piece at the top. And so it had that little piece like that at the top, and I just cut the width of the tag and then cut it. So I looked at what this size was, and because this is just a little bit narrower by 1/8, I cut this just a little shorter than the by 1/8 so that it would look more symmetrical. So I'm just using things that are already in here, and then I have my piece that has the clouds in it. So I could have done this gray background, and I'm using Nido Navy for my cardstock color, and you can use different colors for each layer. I chose to use the same color. Everybody is different, so And then this is just a little piece of some clouds with some airplanes. So I'm going to add that. Just like that. Once you have your pieces cut out, even though there are several layers to this card, they go together so nicely, so quick. So then we have that. Take this layer here. Crease. I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of this one. So you can change anything up on these patterns that I give you for the mystery stamp. You can, instead of DSP, you could use just regular cardstock. You could do a stamping background. You could run it through an embossing folder. You could do glitter paper. Oops, I'm going to make certain it's right side up. Got my clouds going the right direction. So once you get a pattern and you like it, just swap out all your pieces and bits and make it your own by adding your own personality into it. I'm just here to help you along with your creativity. Use, with the supplies that you have in your stash. Add that there in the center. That's all put on the inside. Yeah. And then I'll come up with whatever piece of DSP that I want to put on this piece to embellish it a little bit. And I didn't get everything cut out before it's time to start, but close. There we go. And then I'll also come up with a sentiment to put on the outside of this. I might, put a circle sentiment at the bottom. Looking for that other little deckled circle that I had cut extra for. Here we go. So I could put a sentiment and I could put it right there. It doesn't have to necessarily go in the middle because that would cover up my airplane there. So I could put it right down here and have it, be an uplifting sentiment or say happy birthday or anything like that. And so I think that's what I'll do is use this extra little piece and add it down there. And I won't even use a background. And I'll put a dimensional down here and just add glue to attach it. So I hope that this card pattern is fun for you and you can see all the endless possibilities. It is a little bit busier than what I normally would do for a mystery stamp, but I couldn't pass it up because I just absolutely loved it, and I thought we could do it fairly quick here on mystery stamp. And I think we've been going for about 45 minutes, and so I have 3 cards here. That's not too bad. So thank you for joining me for either the live version of this or the replay. And if you haven't already subscribed to my email newsletter, if you subscribe, then I will mail out information on other up and coming mystery stamps, other events that I'm holding, and whenever you sign up for it, you get a link sent to you for a past throwback card that I did a good while back, and so you get a little something for signing up. And then each time that I send out emails and stuff, then you should receive an email that has to do with whatever it is that I'm emailing out. And then I email out my newsletter and different things. Plus, I add it to my Facebook page. So that's Creative Coach Lisa Fulford on Facebook. So you can see me there. And then hopefully you press play on my YouTube. So thank you for joining me and have a great day. Bye bye. Happy stamping.